real grandpa was George Washington Bolin. Now Patty researched him and got all that information, but he never denied even me as a little old girl. He always would want to, want me to come over and be close to that side of the family. And they were, well, to us, we were poor, but to them, I mean, they were well-livered. They lived in West Virginia, and they owned some big farms,
So you didn't think they were related to you at all?
No, I didn't know nothing. I didn't think they were. I just thought they just being friendly, And
did you know that your grandmother was shot by your grandpa?
Yes. Joy never knew it.
No, I didn't know it.
I knew it. Mom had told me because Grandpa was drunk, I think.
Yeah.
Came home and he thought Grandma had been with the Baptist preacher or something, had him over, so she got shot in the arm. I had thought they lost the property in Eastern Part.
That's why they were they were very well off then, and they lost where May Sturgill lived. That was a piece of property that they had to sell in order to keep her in the hospital.
And
that gun went off. He didn't intend to shoot her.
Right. Yeah,
but it went off.
I
mean, he was drunk and he was slinging it around, and you got a loaded gun, and it went off and it went right through her breast.
And through her arm.
And her arm. And still had shots in it, even when she died.
Yeah. Because that's why she always wore three-quarter length dresses. And I think that probably is why I asked Mom about it. And when I told Joy, she said, I never knew Mama.
No, I thought she had a nervous breakdown from having, the last...
I said, no, Grandpa. I thought why they lost the property was because Grandpa was bootlegging and he owed money to the store. But it wasn't.
Well, no, our property that we lived at that made a fortune. It absolutely becomes rich with the coal.
Yes.
But Morgan Bolin, we owed him a debt of $450. Now that's what it is. See, I remember all of this. And he sued Mom and Dad, and of course they had nothing. Mom and them didn't have a penny to their name. And so in ordinary to make settlement with him, they let him have it. And he paid them so much, I don't remember how much it was. And then they moved to Kentucky, moved down there where they lived, finally. And
but why did they owe the money?
Because of
hospital bill.
Okay.
Hospital. She was in a hospital for a long time. And see, Ella and Hazel and Earlis had to take care of all the kids. I wasn't born then. Harless was a baby, and she was laying over. She reached over to that when the gun went off. She reached over to pick up Harless, and of course. It was lucky she didn't have him in the arm because it would have killed the baby.
Oh, wow.
And, she was very reluctant to talk about that. She just said drinking, and she hated.
Yeah, she did.
Yes,
she hated
the drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think she ever held it against Grandpa.
No, she never did.
Papa, because I think she knew it was an accident. And he didn't mean to shoot
He didn't mean to.
She didn't like when he got drunk, though.
No.
She didn't like when he got drunk.
No, he did not.
Now, there are people who are good drunks, and there are people that are mean drunks.
Yeah.
And nobody had any meaner drunk than Aubrey Sharp.
Yeah.
And that's why I told my kids, don't you ever drink that. And now Brian did not drink. You know what I mean? Don't you ever start it because you got 50% becoming an alcoholic when you come from run.
Yes.
And you just have to be honest with it, tell the truth about things,
Right. Yeah.
And bless Patty's heart, she researched it. She researched every angle. She would sit up to 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning researching on the computer. Trying to find out. And I told her, you start researching the shorts, you're going to run into a lot of things you don't want to run into. So you better leave it alone.
Well, she couldn't go very far back. It kind of ended in
We went up to Bluefield, West Virginia, and went to the courthouse, and we found out a lot of things. And I told her, I said, leave it alone. And then her cousin, which it would be my niece, she wouldn't even meet us. We offered to meet at Walmart, and she wouldn't even meet us. And when we went to the house, she wouldn't answer the door. And I don't know why she was so scared of us. We wasn't there to take anything or to get anything. All we wanted was a picture.
And this was of the Shorts, or
Yeah, it was a short.
Aubrey's son.
Oh, so there must.
It
be
was
something.
Aubrey's niece. That's who
There
it was.
must have been something
Yeah.
there.
And then we got a hold of one of her brothers, and he met us at Walmart, brought some pictures that he had and gave them to Patty. And then he was the only one that was actually civil to us at all. And we tried to explain, we don't, I said, tell Berlin, we don't want anything. We're not after anything. We just want some pictures. But she wouldn't do it. And I wrote her afterwards. But she would not answer me. I said, well, if you don't want nothing to do with me, I don't want nothing to do with you. But that's the way to do it. Mark them off. Write them off.
So, when Grandma was staying with you, then she just told you each one.
Yeah,
who-
Grandma. Yeah, she didn't. I can't remember if she told me who, if she could remember to tell me who their father. But we knew who. I can't remember who was Uncle Charlie's father. I don't know what he. I mean, but that came all the way from San Diego, and I was lucky to get it back.
Yeah.
And then Eulin, he called me and he said, Aunt Thelma, who were those people? And I said, honey, that was your grandmother. And he said, you mean my grandma? And I said, yes. And I said, that was her family. And that was your great-grandmother and your grandfather. And he said, oh, my goodness. And I said, well, you know, these old pictures have to be, Patty loved them better than anything.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I know too. And so...
Did he know that each one of these had a different father? I mean, did Julin know that?
I'm sure he did after Aunt Sue told him probably.
Oh, well, Sue told him. I mean, Sue and James were sitting there. They had the best time together. You can't believe
They
it.
did when she came in that one time. They just
I mean, it was just like long lost, and you know, because they kind of grew up together,
yes.
and at Memos.
Yes.
And so and I could never, I just picture James sitting there, and he just said, and then he got to say, oh, Aunt Thelma, you got to be kidding. I said, I am not, I'm telling you history. I'm not kidding you.
She had to make money.
Yeah. Oh, God, she
there
didn't
may
make
be more truth
much.
to that than you know,
Yeah.
too.
That she
Well, kind of like what
family.
you were
She
saying
gotta feed her.
before about where they had to work, where she had to work, and things that they had to do to get by sometimes in that day and age. You know,
It
may have
was
had a
awful.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
to do with it.
you know, probably, and remember, these were all young people. They wasn't our ages now, which Grandma was young, and I'm sure that she had desires too, and I mean, facts is facts, and they probably talked her into it, and I don't know if they gave her
money.
Well, we won't speculate on that.
Something just passed my mind. I have to laugh about it. When Brian was a young boy, he was going to high school, and he come home one evening and he said, Mama, and he said, Mommy, you know what? And he was telling, it was what, I see that girl now, and I think about it too every time I see her. He said, she, at the football game, she was selling herself. And I said, what? Now, he was about 10 then. And I said, what? She's selling herself? He said, yeah. He said, the boys was going down under the bleachers and having sex with her. And I said, you got to be kidding. You didn't do it. He said, I didn't have 50 cents. That stuck with me all this. I never will forget that. Oh, smart kid. He about 10 or 11 years old. That has always stuck with me.